It's time for our daily dose of cope, and we have the Honorable Reverend Leroy Leopard at the anchor's desk for the Leopards News Network. There are so many stories to get to. Yesterday, I was not on air. I ran out of time. So we have so many stories to get to today. So let's jump right into it. We're going to start with a how it started, how it's going post because we all love these. This one's titled, Trump voter who voted for the suffering of others now has his chickens come home to roost as his homeless veteran son gets arrested. Oh my goodness, these people voting against their own interests. So this person, JCW, back in February was stoked about Doge coming in and collecting all this money, stripping funding from all of these agencies. He says, do you ride with Trump and Elon? Do a thumbs up if you do. So that's JCW in February. This is JCW in August and September, starting at the bottom. He says, BOTUS, golden age? Why does the VA take a vet's disability check if he goes to jail? He earned that benefit, especially when going to jail. People who never worked a day can still get the benefits after getting out of jail. A vet has to pay back the benefit it paid while in jail? Trump? And then again on August 19th, he says, don't get it. Unless well-to-do, no senior citizen pays taxes on Social Security, but every month they do take $187 out of your little $1,400 check to pay for Medicare insurance. That doesn't cover any of your prescription. So I still pay, just not called taxes. Help, Trump. All right, then we got September 21st. Then September 21st, he says, POTUS, I voted for you every time, but you're full of I have a veteran son who is homeless and mental illness. I have been trying 4 months since he was arrested for homelessness. I have gotten nowhere with the VA. Trying to get help when out and not back in street, real America. So that's a little muddy right there, but that's the thing. He was so excited about Doge stripping everything, but Doge stripping everything hurt homeless people, veteran, poor people, people on Medicaid and Medicare. It hurt all of them. So now these people are not so excited. It's very strange, but this is what they voted for. This was an amazing post. This person named MBays45. So this person posted a how it started. So back in February, she says, I'm so proud of our president. I can hardly stand it. He's actually doing every single thing he promised. Our country is going to be so much better due to his efforts. Just love him. So that was February 12th. This person, Contarilla, posted that under her post because here, yesterday, she says, I voted for Trump 3 times. Can someone please tell me what he's done for us since he came into office? My gas price is the same. My grocery prices are out the roof. Interest rates in homes aren't better. Bill's insurance is going up next year. My insurer is leaving North Carolina. So please tell me how I'm better off. I think you spelled it out. You're not. But back in February, everything was good, was sweet, and then he added all these tariffs and now everything is screwed up. I really think, and this is just me talking, it's going to get worse. I have content for every single day, but once holidays come, it's going to be even worse. Just mark my words. This is my homie Ursula. She made a comment under that post saying, oh, honey, she was feeling herself when he wreaked havoc on the lives of others. Now she's coming down from the high and all she has to show for it is track marks and an empty purse. I love it. Definitely a clown show right there. Wickedly Dark says, you voted for Trump because you thought he was going to make others suffer. You're just upset because you're one of them. You're getting what you voted for. You were warned. So what are you going to do about it? And I do wonder that as well. Will they change their behaviors come midterms? Will they keep supporting no matter what? Because if they keep supporting no matter what, he's always going to have the Congress to back him up. So this person, Pete Cremie, says, don't listen to these people ragging on you from the left. It takes courage and character to be honest about the people we've admired and admit when they fall short. We need more people willing to show humility and speak the truth, even when they know they'll be criticized for it. Takes guts, good on you. I pegged Pete Cremie to be MAGA or a Trump supporter or a sympathizer or something. And to that, so I responded to her saying, I honestly love that y'all are getting what you voted for. It makes me so happy. But then she responded, I have never voted for Trump ever, or any Republican for that matter. Why do I keep getting these replies acting like I did? I said, my bad. I love that MAGA are getting what they voted for. I have no empathy for them. You seem to, and that's fine. So that's the reason why I thought she was MAGA, because she seemed to have some empathy for that person. So that's why I said, you seem to, and that's fine. But they were loud about owning the libs or triggering the libs. And now they're jacked up. And I personally love it. And then she responded to me saying, I don't have empathy for them. I just understand that when they leave and are no longer MAGA, if we don't treat them the right way, we lose. But to that, I say, and this is what I really feel. I said, see, I just want them to feel the consequences of their votes for 3 to 7 years. They won't listen to people trying to speak on these consequences. These cult members need to touch the stove and then tend to their own burn. These people don't listen. They don't listen to experts. They don't listen to people that have gone through it. They have no capacity for empathy. They have to feel it themselves, and they need to feel it for an extended period of time. So that's the reason why at first I was saying 1 to 2 years. Now I'm up to 3 to 7 years that they need to feel this so that they can make some different decisions next time. So this one's from the Leopards Ate My Face subreddit. It's titled, The Trump Tariffs Are Shrinking Incomes and Exploding Expenses for Farmers Who, thanks to a president they still overwhelmingly support, fear losing their farms. So this is an op-ed from yesterday. It says, Ohio family farmers describe life under Trump tariffs. We're in a hell of a mess here. And to that I say, duh. Everything a farmer buys, from phosphate to potash to agricultural chemicals, herbicides, machine parts, is up by 50% over the last decade, while our proceeds from the sale of crops is down by 40%, said fifth-generation Ohio farmer Joe Logan. The former president of the Ohio's Farmers Union, a group focused on family farmers, maintained the industrial agricultural community is chugging right along, raking in billions of dollars, while family farmers are not making any money. Instead, they're battling irrational tariffs, rising costs, high interest rates, farm bankruptcies, and abiding dread. How will they move crops without buyers or the major trade deals Trump promised to fix what he broke? Farmers felt the same creeping despair with the tariff debacle of 2018 when Trump first slapped punitive tariffs on crucial exporters of American crops, including China. The move caused a tidal wave of financial disaster for U.S. farms and irreparably damaged trade relations abroad. Farmers, agribusiness, and the United States Department of Agriculture had invested millions of dollars and decades of time to cultivate foreign markets like those in China, explained Logan, which up until that point bought most of our soybeans. But the biggest crop farmed in Ohio was fated to lose its biggest customer then and now. In 2018, Trump destroyed enduring trade deals in overseas markets and the trust that we had built over the previous 30 years, Gibbs said. That left us with acute losses because of retaliatory tariffs, primarily from China. The U.S. soybean crop dropped 20% in value overnight in the summer of 2018, recalled the farmer from West Central Ohio. Plus, the front-end cost of farming has been jacked up by Trump tariffs on seed, fertilizer, and machinery. Farmers in already thin margins are getting crushed like a jelly bean. Because I'm bad. Okay, my bad. Tariffs on imported goods have made it more expensive for them to farm, while retaliatory tariffs imposed on by other countries in response to Trump's trade war mean fewer American crops being sold, and when they are, at lower prices. It's a no-win gambit for farmers and the ag industry that generates over $9 trillion in economic activity and supports millions of jobs. Last year, China accounted for 54% of U.S. soybean exports. This year, it bought zero so far, not a single soybean from U.S. farmers. Chinese buyers turned to Brazil and other suppliers for the crop in 2018. U.S. soybean trade with China never fully recovered. We did hear that China made a big purchase recently, said Logan, but unfortunately, that purchase was from Argentina rather than the U.S., So we're in a world of hurt. I'm going to take the time to remind us all that Trump has bailed out Argentina. Argentina was failing, so he decided to infuse them with some cash, but he's not really bailing out American farmers. So MAGA stands now for Make Argentina Great Again. More how it started, how it's going, because we love these. So back in November 2020, Donald Trump says 71 million legal votes, the most ever for a sitting president. And Tanya says, I hope there is something you can do to change this. We want you back. Now, fast forward to June 2025, so 5 years later, it says, Real Donald Trump, I wanted to give you a shout out and say thank you. Because of your tariffs, my family just lost the income. My husband without a job. We voted you in because we thought he was going to help us. It's not helping when people are losing their jobs. Tariffs are tearing people up. People are becoming panicking. That's because their money, their household budgets are being jacked up and people are losing their jobs. Now we have a Facebook post from a man named Mike Robinson. He says, I voted for Trump, but I'm very disappointed in him for many reasons. The worst one is, why are all the criminal politicians still in office instead of jail where they belong? Like Trump, who is a felon. Like Trump is a felon. He voted for him. All right. It says Musk found solid evidence on many of them for stealing trillions from us over the last 30 years. And yet Trump wants to cut health care. You're just another talking windbag, Don. Prove me wrong and then I'll be impressed. Why would he prove you wrong? He's been a liar, a fraudster, and a con man for decades. Why would he have to prove you wrong? It says, instead of cutting health care subsidies, how about regulating the filthy rich health insurance companies so people can afford health insurance without subsidies? You're effing up, Trump. Show us some real action that is for the people instead of the 1%. Trump had concepts of a plan. That's what he said during his campaign, and you people voted for this. So we know that we're in a government shutdown right now. So this one's titled, I voted for Trump even after his last shutdown almost destroyed my life. This is an excerpt from a BBC article. It says, federal worker says shutdown is toying with millions of lives. The last shutdown was brutal, one federal worker tells me. He wants to remain anonymous, but says the previous 35-day shutdown in 2018 forced me to withdraw money from my retirement plan just to cover my bills. It's now more difficult to do this, he says, adding that if the shutdown goes on as long as the last one, he doesn't know how he will pay his bills. Listen to this. I voted for Trump, but I did not vote for his abuses against us, even though he lived through the first 35-day shutdown back in 2018. It says another anonymous worker who is based in the prison system says things are bad enough with their pay already. Shutting down the government really does make life more complicated for us. And remember, some people still have to go to work regardless of if it's shut down or not, whether or not they're going to get paid or not. This is going to be really bad, and it's going to be bad as we go into the fall season where people are going to need more heat for their homes, where they're going to need some coats, where kids are going to need some boots. It's about to get ugly right now. I did this one a couple of days ago, but it made me laugh, so I'm going to do it again. Cynthia said back in June, this is literally just a couple of months ago, saying, I'd gladly pay higher food prices to make our country safer and to give those jobs back to Americans. Deport them all, no excuses or special permissions. Then, fast forward, September 28th, Cynthia says, I don't know about you, but my grocery bills are still sky high. I'm not happy about it. Let's not BS each other. It's true. The cognitive dissonance is amazing. These people should be happy to be paying more in grocery prices. She just said it. I'd gladly pay higher prices, but now it's smacking her in the face and she's seeing that she's going to have to make some tough decisions. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. There's going to be so many stories that come up, and there's going to always be a Leopards Ate My Face post because there's just way too much content out there. Join the conversation. Let me know what you think about all this. I'm pushing towards 100K over on YouTube. Go ahead and smash the follow button.
Really starting to feel like you guys are jumping ship.
But you made us a campaign promise. And I remember you said it at every stop. I'm going to fix the economy and get prices more affordable. You ain't done none of that. Not even a little bit. Stores are price gouging us on tariffs. Stuff that they're putting on tariffs on. And guess what? They're made here in America.
This you?
Oh, you big mad, ain't you? Do you know how economics works? You know, if they didn't get tax cuts, they wouldn't be able to pay you a fair wage.
Oh, so you have no idea how this shit works.
You have done absolutely nothing to help that. I'm sorry, but, like, we're struggling. Like, you're erasing the middle class. You know, you said, oh, the left, they're all about erasing the middle class. No, you are too, because I know you got a lot on your plate, but man,
Stop making excuses. You were hoodwinked, bamboozled. You had the wool pulled over your eyes. He lied to you. You are nothing to him. You never were. You are nothing more than a check mark on a box in order to get him into the presidency. Someone needed to tell you a long time ago that to him, you don't matter. And you failed a very open book test.